As I say, I do not know what measures you have considered to accomplish the goals set out, but I do know that they are unlikely to be successful without the help of the United States and Great Britain. My colleague Jerry Malone and I would like to share a few thoughts with you on how support can be increased in these countries and in the West in general. Well, the plight of the Ukraine makes the papers daily in the United States and in Great Britain. Relatively few American or British people know much about the country or its strategic importance to both the East and the West. Realistically, if meaningful support is going to come from the West, it will be because of the efforts of the United States and the United Kingdom. Therefore, it is important the story of the Ukraine be told and be sold in these countries. What message is it that we wish to convey? All three countries share a common European heritage and the values that implies. The Ukraine is of vital economic interest in U.S. and U.K. efforts to retain influence in Eastern Europe. The Ukraine is an essential piece in reducing European dependence on Russian oil and gas. The Ukraine is of vital importance in containing Russian expansion. And finally, the prosperity of the Ukraine is of essential importance to prosperity in Eastern Europe and in Europe itself. Politicians generally, but certainly in the United States, measure every act against what they perceive their constituents want. Therefore, they will be more likely to do what is needed to protect the Ukraine if it is seen as politically popular or necessary. This requires implementation of an educational program. How do we spread the story? Certainly by exposure on the political front, but as importantly, by spreading it among those whose opinions influence those in Washington and Downing Street. These include people who work in think tanks, major companies, and relevant international institutions, such as in the United States, the Council on Foreign Relations, Common Good, and Network 2020. All institutions whose sole purpose is the exploration of the United States, the world around it, and its meaningful contributions to that world. We need the leaders of the Ukraine to present their story to these and similar institutions, and of course, to governmental bodies, both here and in the United Kingdom. To make Ukraine's story saleable, steps need to be taken to ensure that the application of rule of law applies both to the country's citizenry and foreign persons, both individual and corporate. These steps can include establishing treaties on investment, including, for example, adoption of independent means of resolving economic disputes, such as those available today through the World Bank, and also the adoption of rules protecting the individual rights of visitors, citizens, and investors. The above are just an outline of some of the problems to be focused on. What is needed on your side is a group within and perhaps without the Ukrainian government charged with the responsibility of accomplishing the objectives set forth above and, of course, expanded and implemented. That group must consist of citizens of impeccable reputation and must have the economic wherewithal to retain outstanding advisors of similar reputation to formulate and implement a plan to effectuate the steps set forth above. There are many companies which hold themselves out as advisors to countries in this area. It is vital to pick one or more that is both ethical and effective, not always an easy task. I'll turn my presentation over to my colleague Jerry Malone, who will tell you one of the best defenses against Russian aggression in the presence of foreign investors with significant economic interests in your country. I wish you good luck.